Welcome to our 5 on 5. Pleased to be joined today by Denise Barnes, Recycling Coordinator, and Laura Leebrick, Governmental Affairs with Rogue Disposal and Recycling. Ladies, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
So a lot to talk about with recycling, but Denise, first give us an idea of the service area you guys have and how many people are in this area.
Well, Rogue Disposal has roughly 45,000 or so customers. That's residential and commercial. And we have franchise service areas. So we cover Medford, Central Point, Phoenix, Jacksonville, and then some outlying areas in Jackson County.
Okay, and Laura, a lot of changes in recycling right now. How in the world did we get here?
Two words: China and contamination. Historically, China has imported roughly 60% of the world's recyclables. They're a huge consumer of the world's recyclables, primarily plastics and paper. A few years ago, back in 2013, they first started letting folks know around the globe that the material streams that they were seeing from other countries was incredibly dirty. So they conducted a bit of a campaign to try and raise awareness about contamination, but nothing really ever came of it. We did conduct some education campaigns to remind people, please only put in your commingle cart materials that are actually recyclable. And then nothing really further came of it until July of 2017, when China made it clear that they were very serious about contamination. There were headlines in international news, China is tired of accepting the world's garbage. And they made it clear at that point that they meant it. And they actually set a deadline and said, look, here's a list of 24 materials we don't want to see in your recycling anymore, that we will not be importing anymore, and we will begin rejecting loads in early 2018 if you don't remove these materials.
Okay.
So that's how we got here.
Okay, and so what do people need to know about the changes that they're undergoing this month right now?
So the changes that they're undergoing right now are changes that are happening in our curbside collection program in our service areas. And what we have opted to do is to eliminate the materials that China has said they will no longer accept. They actually consider these materials to be garbage. They call them waste plastics and unsorted mixed paper. So we've chosen to eliminate glass, which has also been identified as a contaminant when mixed with other materials, mixed paper, and most grades of plastic from our commingle mix. We're trying to clean the material up here at home so that we're not having to take the chance of having that material rejected further down the line when we've spent good money to transport it to recycling processing facilities.
Okay, all right, very good. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll have much more in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Denise Barnes and Laura Leebrick from Rogue Disposal and Recycling. So Denise, you're handling, as the recycling coordinator, a lot of the questions that people are having. What are some of the most common ones you're getting?
The avid recyclers are really concerned that now things that were taken out of their cart are filling their garbage cart. And what they're finding is many of the things that they were putting in their commingle cart should have never been in there in the first place. So we're displacing that back into their garbage cart. And what I really appreciate is the customers that are calling us and trying to get clarification. They really want to do the right thing, and they want to put the right thing in that commingle cart. So they're really getting nitty-gritty clarification on newspaper. What is newspaper? What is insert? What about this little magazine that looks like newspaper? And so we're answering all of those questions. We really appreciate that people are taking the time to find out. And we're finding other outlets for their material that now are no longer allowed in their commingle cart. We've set up many glass depots around town. We have a glass depot at all the Rays markets and Food for Less and Sherm's on West Main, as well as our depot on Table Rock Road. So people have an outlet for glass, in addition to the bottle bill expansion. The bottle bill expanded, and now many of your beverages can go right back to Redemption Center. We're putting in some high-grade paper bins at our recycle depot on Table Rock Road. So some of that paper that now no longer goes in your commingle cart, you can bring it to our depot. And high-grade paper is things like office paper, copy paper, envelopes, mail, solicitations, things like that. High grade.
Okay, and are we the only region being affected by this, Laura?
No, actually, the entire world is being affected. Denise and I keep up on all international and national news around this issue, and there's been a lot more coverage of it in the international news. Western Europe's been hit particularly hard because they were used to exporting a huge amount of their fiber and their plastic, as we have in the west coast of the United States. The tricky thing is, everyone is in the same shape, but there are different circumstances in each region, each city. Each hauler is working with with their jurisdictional partners right now, trying to figure out how to make changes, short-term and long-term changes, to help us be flexible during these times. No one knows. This has never happened before. No one knows how it's all going to play out. So we're having to come up with, again, short-term plans, which is what we're doing right now, to try and take care of the material streams that we know there are markets for, preferably domestic markets right now. Those are the only ones we can count on. But the longer-term plan is ultimately to set up a more flexible system. Recyclables are commodities, and they're traded on global markets, essentially, right? So they're volatile, and we need to create a system that is more flexible. So what we're trying to do is create a very limited set of materials that people can put in their curbside carts that we know there are sustained markets for. The flexibility point can happen at depots, where there'll be spot markets that'll pop up and we can recycle certain materials, and at other times those markets disappear. We think that's the best way to go as we all watch how things play out on the global market scale.
Okay, very fluid situation as
Very
you
much
guys
so.
are
Very
talking
fluid,
about.
yeah.
A lot to cover. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.